Hello, my dear fun beings. Today, we are going to discuss about the overview of the structure of the cell. Before getting started, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon next to it. The structure of the cell will be a series of videos emphasizing on each component. Today, we will be starting with the basics. In the previous video, we had discussed why the cell is regarded as the smallest living being. If you haven't watched it, click on the I button above. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. The term cell was coined by Robert Hooke in 1665. In 1839, Sladen and Schwann independently proposed the cell theory. It states that the tissues of living beings are composed of cells. Then, another person named Virchow in 1958 added to the cell theory that all living cells arise from pre-existing cells. When we start studying about cells, two new terms always keep confusing us. They are prokaryotes and eukaryotes. What are these two? Based on the organization of the cellular components, the cells can be divided as prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Let's break these words. Pro means primitive and eu means true. Karyon means nucleus. So, prokaryotes are those that have a primitive nucleus and eukaryotes are those that have a true nucleus. Still confusing? I'll explain. Prokaryotes are like a baby wearing a baby suit. The babies do not wear inner garments or accessories, whereas eukaryotes are like a fully dressed man or woman. They wear inner garments, they have accessories, and they're also well dressed. That is, prokaryotes do not have a nuclear membrane or organelles, but they have a cell membrane, just like the baby suit. Eukaryotes have a nucleus, a distinct nuclear membrane, all the cell organelles, and a cell membrane. Example of prokaryotes include bacteria, blue-green algae, etc. Examples of eukaryotes include plants, animals, fungi, etc. Let us see a small comparison between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are 1 to 10 micron in size and are usually unicellular. Eukaryotes are usually multicellular and 5 to 100 micron in size. Prokaryotes usually lack organelles, or if they have very few organelles. Eukaryotes have all the mentioned organelles. The DNA in prokaryotes are circular or linear and organized as a nucleoid. Eukaryotes have a linear DNA that is organized into chromosomes. The nuclear membrane is absent in prokaryotes and definite in eukaryotes. The cell wall, if present in prokaryotes, contains amino sugars and muramic acid. In eukaryotes, when the cell wall is present, it does not contain these substances. Now let's see the structure of prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are outlined by a plasma membrane, which holds all the cell contents into it. It is also called a cell membrane. Then, the nucleoid of the prokaryote. Here it's given chromosome, but the nucleoid of the prokaryote is a definite region in the center which is not covered by a nuclear membrane but has the DNA in a very condensed form. Prokaryotes have ribosomes which are comparatively smaller than those of the eukaryotes, and they help in protein making, that is protein synthesis. Prokaryotes also have the mesosomes. Mesosomes are invagination of the plasma membrane. They help in DNA synthesis and secretion of proteins. Certain bacterial cells possess a cell wall, which is made up of peptidoglycan, proteins, oligosaccharides, etc. This cell wall is the structure which maintains the shape of the cell. The layer of the peptidoglycan determines whether the bacteria is gram-negative or gram-positive, which we will be dealing in later videos. Some prokaryotes possess chlorophyll and other pigments. Some prokaryotes also have flagellum or pili or cilia, which help them in movement and absorption. Now, let us see an interesting feature of the prokaryote. This is the plasmid DNA. The plasmid DNA is an extra chromosomal DNA present in prokaryotes. They carry extra and special characteristics such as antibiotic resistant, marker genes, etc. Now let's see the eukaryotic cell structure. Eukaryotic cell is covered by a cell membrane which is the boundary of the cell. It is composed of lipid and protein molecules. It is a selectively permeable membrane. The proteins form channels through which the molecules can pass. Certain enzymes present in the membrane help in the cell-cell interactions. Plant cells additionally possess a cell wall which provides mechanical support and also helps in other functions. The plant cell is usually made up of cellulose, proteins and enzymes. The living region of the cell is called the protoplasm. The protoplasm is composed of the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. The cytoplasm is the component of the cell other than the nucleus. The nucleoplasm is the components present inside the nucleus. The deutoplasm is the non-living component of the cell, which includes the lipids, globules, yolk granules, pigments, etc. The cytoplasm consists of the aqueous cytosol and the suspended particles. Together, it forms a gel-like consistency. The cell organelles are distributed all over the cytoplasm. Now, let us see about all the organelles. The first one is the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane-bound tube and sheet network. It may be either rough endoplasmic reticulum or smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes embedded on its surface. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum lacks these ribosomes. The function of the rough endoplasmic reticulum is to hold the ribosomes which help in protein synthesis. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in lipid biosynthesis and is also involved in the metabolism of toxic substances and drugs if it enters the cell. In muscle cells, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is used up for storage of calcium ions. The Golgi apparatus is made up of flattened membrane-bound vesicles called cisternae, small vesicles, and vacuoles. They contain enzymes which play a role in protein modifications. Lysosomes. These are membrane-bound spherical vesicles which contain hydrolytic enzymes that can digest protein, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids. Plant cells lack lysosome but instead have a vacuole which does the same job as the lysosome. Next are the peroxisomes. Peroxisomes are also membrane-bound vesicles. They have catalase, which is an enzyme that catalyzes or degrades the hydrogen peroxide and free radicals. These are very harmful substances for the cell. Glyoxysomes are specialized peroxisomes found in certain plant cells. They contain certain enzymes that are helpful in the glyoxylate cycle. Next, let's talk about mitochondria. Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. It helps in the production of ATP by entering the electron transport chain and the oxidative phosphorylation. ATP is the energy unit of the cell. Now let's talk about the important component of the cell, which is the nucleus. The nucleus contains the genetic material or the DNA. The DNA is found in the form of chromosomes. The DNA is coiled around a protein called histone to form the nucleosome, which on a large scale is called the chromosome. It also contains a dense region called the nucleolus. This is rich in RNA. The other region inside the nucleus contain the enzymes for DNA replication, transcription and repair. Cells also have a cytoskeleton, which maintains the shape and integrity of the cell. This is made up of actin, microtubule and intermediate filaments. Plant cells also possess plastids. One example of plastids are the chloroplasts. So that was an outline of the structure of the cell. That was a huge video, guys. Thanks for watching it till the end. I hope you guys liked it. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it.